Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Simple Stitcher. My name's Emily and it's been a hot minute since I've been here to do a proper stitching update. If you follow my channel, you'd know that I loaded a tutorial yesterday or the day before on the Algerian eyelets, the mushroom and fern mandala. So if you're interested, go and check that out. It's under the playlist for mushroom and fern mandala. So, and there's a few other tutorials in there for that, and I will continue to do more as I get through parts of the mushroom and fern mandala. I will add in more tutorials. So go over and check that out if you're interested and you haven't already done so. So it's been a while, as I just said, since my last video. I've been getting a lot more stitching done lately. I changed jobs, and also I've been working from home as part of all of the COVID-19 restrictions that are in place. So between not having to commute and my hours are a little bit lower at the moment than they were previously, I've got a lot more stitching time available to me, and I've done a lot more stitching, so I've got some stuff to show you, which is really exciting. So I've worked on a few projects. I'll go through them one at a time. So the first project that I've worked on that I wanted to show you is my Villa Mirabilia. I love this chart, but it has moments where it gets work and then a lot of time where it doesn't. I might just loosen it off so I can show you in its entirety, if possible, what I've got done. I might have to unclip it completely. Not terribly organized. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, and I'm a bit out of practice, so you'll have to bear with me. So the piece of fabric that I got for this, I've been having mini heart attacks on a fairly regular basis about the amount of fabric that I've got left over. I've cut it really fine with the size of the piece of fabric that I ended up purchasing for this chart. But I think it's going to be okay, but I am a bit nervous, but I'm not going to have very much room on either side because it's really quite a big chart. But this is where I'm at. So I've got quite a bit done. So I've done all of this left side part of the shield. I've done the bottom left side of her dress, and then I've moved over. I started on her bodice and then I'm working my way down. So I've got to come down and do the same down here, probably a similar amount of work. I've got to take the border out on both sides, finish her head and her upper body, and then there's the big vase. So there's actually still quite a lot of work to do on this, but I finished the top recently and then worked on her bodice and started doing this section, and I've started doing the 1/1 skin. I'm doing her skin 1/1, and I started doing that part of her hand, so I'm just going to do it as I go, bits and pieces of the skin as I do the rest of the stitching to break it up rather than leaving it all at once. I haven't done any beading on this yet. I'm going to leave that till the end, but it's such a beautiful chart, and so I'm looking to spend a bit more time on this and get some more done. It's been a whip for a very long time and I would really like to get it all done. But you can see here, that's the border. It's going to be coming up here, so there's not very much left on that side. And then I started panicking about this side, but I think I'm going to have about the same on there. And then that's the bottom, so it's cut it really fine on the bottom. I've got really just got the 2 inches, and I normally like to have more room than that. But anyway, So that's my Villa Mirabilia. Pleased with how that's going. Trying to work out where to put this now that I've pulled it apart. Yeah. The next one that I've been working on is a new start, and I don't have a lot done of it yet, but these are very quick little stitches. Is the May Curé Better Curé. So I bought the 12 months, so there's obviously January to December. But what I'm doing is, because I'm in the Southern Hemisphere and they're for Northern Hemisphere and the seasons are switched around, I actually reselected which chart I'd stitch for which month. So May on this chart, the one I'm stitching is May, is like actually a September. So I've just done the best I can to change them so that the seasons are appropriate for the Southern Hemisphere, because I'm in Australia. And when I put them up, I don't have January saying winter and snowman and it's like hot summer here. So I've switched it around, and this is the May one. Now, it's a PDF chart, and I have the charts on my iPad. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. That's what it should look like when it's done, this one here. Now, as you can see, it was September and I'm doing it for May. But they're very, very cute. I actually did the April one for Easter. And it's finished. It's a FFO, so I'll show you that when I get to that point. But they're pretty quick stitch. They don't take very long, and they are really, really cute. So that's what I'm stitching, and that's what it's going to look like for May. I'm hoping to have it done fairly soon, so that I can get it finished and get it displayed for May. Okay. The other thing that I had a new start on was another Easter chart. I didn't get this finished in time for Easter, or April, but it'll be ready, finished for next April. And let me just get the chart. This is another digital one also. It doesn't have the picture. I got it off Etsy. Puno chart. I can't even. I'll put the Etsy store because I can't pronounce it in the video. So you can go and check it out if you're interested. And I'll try and insert a photo of what the finished design is going to look like, because the PDF version that I've got doesn't actually have. It's only got the chart. And this is a series of 12 months again. At the moment, I've only got the April one. I'm still deciding whether I'm going to get the rest of the months. So that's what I got done. This is my own hand-dyed, coffee tea dyed fabric, and it's a really big piece. So if I want to do the other 12 months, I will be able to. This came out a lot bigger than what I expected. I probably expected it to be about 2/3, maybe at most, the size of what it is. So it's very big, but it's really pretty and it's very easy to stitch. But if I get this one again, it's the same thing. It's based on the Northern Hemisphere. So I will want to switch it for the Southern Hemisphere seasons. And when I looked at it, it wasn't quite as easy to switch around the months so that they aligned with Southern Hemisphere season. So I'm still a bit 50-50. They're beautiful charts, but I'm still a bit 50-50 about whether I do all of these ones or not, because it's not quite so easy to switch them around. But it's a very cute chart, and it will be nice to pull this one out at Easter again next year. So that's that one. I finally bit the bullet, and if you've been following me for any length of time, you would know that I've been stitching the Brooks Books Alice in Wonderland series. I finished the top row of the series and then had to start the bottom 6. I've been procrastinating for quite a long time on this chart because I wasn't sure how I was going to line up the bottom row so that it looked all right. But what I ended up doing was I've taken a space of 10 and then counted down. So I'm going to have 10 squares between the top and the bottom because I was procrastinating about how much space to have. So I've started the White Witch. I've made some changes on this one. I so this bottom line of her dress is actually meant to be white, like a silver chronik. I couldn't find mine, so I tried black. Not 100% sure if I'm happy with it. I may rip it out and put in a silver one. So I changed that, and then in her dress here she'll be white, but I had a pale blue chronik which I replaced and put in there instead of just the white thread. So I thought I'd do something a bit different. So that's, I did some of it and then got a bit sort of sick of it. Well, it wasn't that I got sick of it, but I wanted to do other things. So I've made a start anyway. So that's the first of the 6 along the bottom. So yeah, that's another new start. I have also worked on, so I finished the stitching on this ages and ages and ages ago. It's the Bothy thread Gorgeous. I call her Creepy Bunny because it's got the creepy bunny. And so I did this ages ago, but I never did the back stitching. So I've actually pulled this out about a week ago and started doing the back stitching on it because it's crazy that I've got this stitch piece. I've just got some back stitching and then I can frame this and put it on the wall. So at the moment I have back stitched the bunny. So now I've got to work my way around her. Back stitching is not my favorite thing, so I'm basically just tackling it one section at a time. So now I've done the bunny. I don't know, the next thing I'll do is maybe her hair, and then go from there. I don't know, I'll see where I feel like stitching. And I've done her arm. That arm's back stitched and the bunny. So I don't know, I'll see when I sit down to do it where I feel like going from there. But I'm working to get the back stitching done on this, and then that can be put in a frame and put on the wall, which will be really good because it's crazy having a piece and not finishing it and getting it done when it's so close. So that's that, and I'm really happy with how that's looking. Then this is my drawn thread Halloween. I've done some more work on this. I've been picking my own colours for this, and this is where I've got to. I'm really loving this piece. It's really cool. The only thing is I've realized, so what I've realized is my cat doesn't line up, my black cat. So I've done its tail and I stitched some of its spine and a little bit of its head. And when I put in the A, which is in the right spot, I've realized that the cat doesn't quite line up where it's supposed to. So I'm gonna come back and I've got to go back and recheck the cat that I've done, the part of it, and then stitch from there. What I've actually done with this is, because I wanted the cat to pop a bit more, I've actually stitched it in black Krynic. I don't know if you can see, but I really wanted the cat to stand out from everything else. So it's 2 strands of Krynic. When I stitch with Krynic, I like to use 2 because it's really chunky and dense and it really makes it pop. On my trick or treat, all of the Krynic stitching that I did there is two strands as well, and I just really like the way that it looks. So, but I did come over and start working on the hat. So I'm really liking the way that this is coming out, and there's not too much left to do, so I can keep working on this, and then hopefully I'll have a piece that I can display for October. It's currently in my bag that I made. So I made this bag, bit creepy, to go with my Halloween piece. Okay, and then the other one that I've got is my Hade. One of my Hades. This is Heart and Soul of a Lion. I have done this much. Not sure if I showed this in a previous video. It's the mini, and I just really love it. It's so pretty. So that's the second page. It's basically 4 pages, so I'm 2/3 of the way, I guess, across the first one. I was working on this quite a bit, and then I started focusing on some other charts and I haven't got back to it. But I really like this, and I love the way that it's turning out. So I've got quite a bit done, probably half of the second page. So there's no reason I couldn't get that second page finished off pretty quickly and then get on to the third one. But that is Josephine Wall's Heart and Soul of a Lion. Really loving that. And then, so that's it for my Workspace. Oh, no, it's not. Forgot the major one that I've been spending a lot of time working on. If you see the blanket behind me hanging up, that's because we still don't have curtains in our house, and that big window, the sun rises, sets on this side, and when I'm working in the afternoon, I work over at my desk. When I'm working over at my desk in the afternoon, the sun comes through this window, and I've been getting it's been shining right in my eyes really badly. So on Thursday, Craig helped me, and we hung up a blanket on the window so that I don't get a headache, because I was getting this massive headache from the sun shining in my eyes for like 2 hours from 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just couldn't work like that anymore. So we've put it up, so it's hanging down a bit, and then I had to pull the hangers that were hanging all my cross stitch charts on this wall that I work on. I have them hanging on here. I pulled them off and we stuck them up so that we could hang the blanket up over the window. So I have to get some more hangers for the wall so that I can then get my charts back up on the wall, and then I'm going to tuck this up a bit so it just sort of sits over the window. But it's a bit of a work in progress at the moment since Thursday. So, and it was good because Thursday afternoon I didn't end up with a giant massive headache, so I was really pleased about that. Okay, so my final chart that I've been working on, that I've been spending a lot of time on, is my Mushroom and Fern Mandala. Now I'm actually going to flip you around because it's easier to flip you around, I think, and show you rather than trying to hold up my big giant frame. So bear with me. Okay, so this is my mushroom and fern, and I have done quite a lot since the last time you would have seen this. I mean, you see it in my updates you would have seen it in my updates and that sort of thing, and my tutorials, but since my last proper stitching update, I have done a lot on this. So I've probably done up to about here. So what I've actually done is I've done all of the tree section along here. Up there, I finished this whole section basically, and then done this corner here. All the beading. The only thing that's left in this center bottom section is 3 beads, a few beads of these diamond beads, but I'm not putting them here because I don't want them, even though I'm padding it, you can see the felt, the batting. I don't want it rolling up in that far in there and putting all that pressure on the fabric, even though I am padding it. So I'm going to do these really low ones at the very end. There's about 3 that go in here. So I've done all this section, the vine, the inner vine, the snail, and this mushroom, all of that. And then what I've done is I've come across, so I finally worked out how I wanted to tackle this. It was causing me a lot of, I was procrastinating. That was one reason I wasn't doing as much work on this, because I didn't know how to tackle it and which way to go. Because if you do it in the traditional sort of way that a lot of people do, which is do the center and then work each element and then move on to the next one and do all 4, I'd be rolling my scrolling frame up and down constantly. And I didn't want to be doing that. So what I ended up deciding to do was finish this center and roll it all the way down. It's now done to the bottom. And then I've come across to the left and I'm doing the left bottom corner. Then I'm going to go across to the right and do the right bottom corner. Then I'm going to roll it all down and then left central mushroom, right central mushroom, roll it all down and then do the top. So that's how I'm tackling it, and I'm really comfortable with that. It works. It's working quite well for me. So I'm working on the left central mushroom. I've made a couple of changes in terms of what I've stitched on this. I've changed, so with the vines, I couldn't find the vine, what do you call it? I don't know. The lines in the vine. And so I just picked one of the threads within there for my vine. I used Water Lilies 066. I think I found it later. But it didn't matter because I'm happy with what I've chosen. And I think the colour that I've chosen for around the outside of these leaves might be different as well. I've used Gloriana 192 around the outside. I think because I couldn't find it. I can't remember. And then on these buds here, I've used the called for colour there, but I felt like they were getting lost. So I actually put just one more line around the edge of Dinky Dyes 208. It's just a bit darker dusky purple, just to give them some definition, because I couldn't see them on the fabric and I felt like they were getting lost. So I added that line there to those. And then I picked my own colour for the snail. I just picked a chocolatey, and I should have written it down, I didn't, a light cocoa brown type colour to go around it. I originally tried another colour, and I didn't like it, so I've gone with that one. And I'm happy with how the snail looks now. So over here, I've done everything as called for, except for this central black work. The central black work colour that it calls for in the chart was too light on the bottom left corner for my fabric, and I didn't want to do all that work and then not really be able to see it, just see white lines. So I used the, what colour did I use? Just checking my chart to see if I wrote it on here. Bear with me for a second. No, I haven't written it. I need to check that. Basically on this side, on this side, it's the wildflower, Karen Wildflower version of this colour. And up the top, when I was looking at it from what I could see, with the left top corner and the right top corner, the left one was the water lilies colour, and then the other one was the wildflower colour. So it was basically fine silk thread and then the pearl cotton version on the other side. So I did the same thing here. So I've got the silk on this side and the pearl cotton, the wildflower version on this side. So I just matched those two. Otherwise it's all the same. I've done everything on this central section here except for the back stitching on the grasshopper. I need to do that, but otherwise it's all done. And then the next thing I'm going to be doing is moving on to this outer border, and then all I've got to do is put in the vine, this matching vine here, and then that section's done. The one thing I will note is there seems to be little differences between the PDF and the paper version that I've got. So just be careful when if you're marking off and stitching off the paper version and then just using the PDF version for the colors, then that's fine. But if you're using a blend of both, my recommendation would just be check that they're the same. And if not, just pick one to stitch off, because basically on the paper version, the difference between the paper version and the PDF version, for instance, this border here, one is on this cream color is on the inside, and there's some differences around the half stitches that are in through here. So just be careful that you only stitch off the whole chart off either the paper version or the PDF version, or you check that they're the same. Because otherwise you might find things don't line up properly and they don't work. It ends up being, they both end up finishing in the same spot. But what happens is with the PDF version, because this line here, this cream line is on the inside, there's actually a space where the inner border goes from. So there's an empty row, and then the special stitches have a gap, and then they start up here. Whereas in the paper version, you start stitching straight on this border. So it makes quite a difference how it all works out. The rest of it all lines up, but just be careful of that if you're switching between the two. Okay. So that is my mushroom and fern mandala. I am super excited with how that's coming along. I've got my eye on my next chatelaine, but I'm not getting that until I finish this one. And I'm still tossing up which one I'm going to get. I'm thinking that I've always wanted to do the Chinese garden mandala. It's always been my favorite. And if I hadn't got this one, that would have been the one I'd chosen at the time. But I also like the poison garden one. So I'm not sure, we will see, but I'm still a fair ways off being at the point where I'm ready to get another chatelaine. So I've still got a lot of stitching to go on this one, but I'm making progress, which is really positive, and it's making me feel really quite inspired with getting this done. And it's just such a beautiful stitch. So that is that. Now on to, so that's my whips. There was quite a few, and I have one small finish. I don't have very many finishes very often, but I have a small finish. It was an Easter stitch. I stitched it over Easter. It's the Curé Better Curé April, and I've FFO'd it. So the this is it. So I actually went to Spotlight and got a little easel. It's not put together because I need screws to go in the bottom so that it'll stand in its little stand, and I haven't gone to the hardware store to get the stand. But this is how it sits basically. This is how it's going to sit. It's just going to lean like that. And each month, I'm just going to take this off and put the new month on. So once I finish May, I'll put that on here. So this is my finish. All I did was I went and got some fabric from Spotlight, little Easter eggs. I wrapped that around some thick padded card, and then I just got a piece of cardboard and put some batting around it to make it puffy. I got some sparkly chicken wire. A lot of the sparkle came off the chicken wire when I was bending it into shape, but just a little bit. I thought the chicken wire went with the chickens. And then I got a pink stripy bow and another piece of ribbon that I stuck over the top with chicks on it. I changed the colors in this. These are my own picks. I followed the chart, so to speak, in terms of the color scheme, but I picked my own colors. So that is black Krynic instead of black DMC. And then the colors that I used, oh, I don't have them with me. I can put the conversions in the comments below, but I changed all of the colors. So I'm really pleased with how that came out. It's really cute, and I'm really looking forward to May being done, so that I can finish May and get that up. But it just looks so sweet, and when it's standing on the bookshelf, on my stitching crafting shelf, oh, Jesus, because it's not. I glued it with a crap ton of glue. I really like the way that it looks, so it's really cute. So they'll all be slightly different. Then I've got to work out where I'm going to store this once it's done. But anyway, that is my my one FFO, the one FFO I've had for quite some time, and I'm really pleased with it. It's got a hair on it now that I've dropped it on the ground. So that's it. I haven't really bought any stash for quite some time, other than the 2 charts. I did go to my local stitching store and buy the older DMC colours because I realised she had them, because she doesn't have a lot of stuff. It takes her a long time to get everything in. And I picked up, I saw she finally had them. The older series of DMC colours that were released, not this latest lot, the ones before. So these are quite old. They've been out for quite a while. But I picked up one of each of those, so I've got to bobbinate them and get them into there. And then I spoke to her about getting the latest lot, the 0 to 35. So she said she was going to try and order them in. So I will hopefully get my hands on a set of them without having to go overseas for DMC, like a handful of DMC, and pay all that postage. It's more expensive to buy through her, but I'm not paying postage. I've got it. She's going to get it. I'm supporting a local business, so I'm hoping that she'll get them in and I'll be able to buy them off her. And then I may order, but I don't need any more Mirabilia charts. I have so many, and I'm still working on the 2 that I've started like 3 years ago. The new Princess Eliana I absolutely love that chart that's come out by Mirabilia. It is stunning and it uses the new colors. So I would really like to get a copy of that. So I'll see whether I decide to splurge on one of them. But I'm absolutely in love with that. I think that is one of my favorite charts that she's done in a very, very long time. So I may get a copy of that because I can't believe it's just so gorgeous. I love the colors. I love the lushness of the fabric, the princess's fabric. It's just gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. So all that aside, I think that's pretty much it. I've been stitching, I've been working, I did my aromazen training. So one of the things that I did in January as an aside was sound healing, meditation and aromatherapy facilitator training to run an aromazen group. It's a 90-minute experience. It's just totally luscious and everybody loves it. Only thing is, I was about to start doing it. I got all my stuff and COVID-19 happened, and so everything's been put on hold. But hopefully in the next few months, we will see, I'll be able to start running those classes. So I'm really, really excited about that. Other than that, well, I changed jobs, so that's pretty big. I'm working from home, which is amazing. I'm not doing my 4 hours of travel to and from work every day. And that is just a game changer for me. It's so huge. It's been amazing. The plot's going well. So our plot at the community garden, I had someone ask me about how my gardening was going. We had a huge tomato season, only because I started like 35 tomatoes and we harvested a heap of tomatoes. We made lots of tomato sauce. We ate lots of fresh tomatoes, and it was really great. So today, Craig and I, last week we went down and planted our autumn crop. I started seeds about 4 weeks ago, and we went down last weekend and planted those at the plot. And then today I did a video on my other YouTube channel called Tabitha by M with an update of the plot, which you can go and check out if you're interested about what I planted. I also planted some carrots and some beetroot seeds. If you're interested in seeing that, I will put a link in the description box below. I'd love it if you go check it out and subscribe. It's a very new channel and I've only got 2 subscribers. So I would love it if you guys would go and support me and subscribe to my other YouTube channel. That would be really amazing, because I feel a bit lame with a YouTube channel that's got 2 subscribers and one of them's my husband. So it's pretty bad. So if you don't mind going over and checking that out, or if you're interested, that would be great. You can see what we've been doing and you can see a little bit of gardening. I'm planning on doing more updates on that now because I've got all this extra time, and showing you how we go with our first autumn crop there. The backyard is still pretty much the same as it was. I planted tomatoes this season, but I haven't got to do any more. So that's on my list of things. I've got plans, but I just didn't get around to being able to do them. So that will be a work in progress, and hopefully I'll be able to track that and show you guys, take you guys on the journey with that when I do it. Oh, I forgot something else. We got 2 new additions to our family, 2 baby kittens. So I'm going to pause. This is a very long video. It's been a while. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to go and get the kittens and I'm going to introduce you to them. So these are the new additions to our family. Ren is the little girl, little Torty, and Roo is our little boy. Can you hear them purring? They're like, put me down. They're little crazy, little affectionate little monsters. They're like, I want to go. They don't want to be held. They're too busy playing. We've had them for, they're about 16 weeks old now. We've had them since middle of February. We got them when they were 4.5 weeks old. The painter, my mum had some painting done at her house, and the painter found them at about 2 weeks old, wandering on the street with their sibling. And he asked Mum if she wanted one, because she knows we're into cats, and Mum asked us, and I said yes, we'll have the ginger one, Roo. And at that point, because we lost Ranji about 4 weeks before to cancer, and we weren't planning on getting any more cats. We were just going to stick with Ollie and Maestro. And it was really sad to lose him. We just started trying to do chemo treatment for him, but it just progressed too quickly, and he was just too sick and too miserable, so we had to make the decision to let him go, which was really sad. So we weren't going to get any more cats, and then Mum got asked about the kittens, so I said, well, we'll have the ginger one, Roo. And Mum let the painter know and said, we'll take the ginger one. And then the painter got back to her and said, well, the wife had just dropped them at the vet, and they were about to go to Sunshine Pound. And I had a complete heart attack at 2 4.5-week-old kittens being dropped at the pound. So Mum rang the vet at Sunshine, and they said, we'll take the kitten. And they asked her if we wanted Ren as well. And at that point, we thought we might have someone else that might be able to take her as well. So Mum said, we'll put both of them on hold. I said, we'll take both and find a home for Ren. So Mum went down to Sunshine Vet the next day, picked up the kittens, brought them straight down here at 4.5 weeks old. They were these teeny tiny little babies, like they fit in your hand like this, and they were just adorable. And the person that was going to take Ren, well, Craig fell in love with her. I was always really happy to have both of the kittens, but Craig really just wanted to have that one extra kitten, so have 3 cats. But Craig fell in love with Ren really quickly. She's just a gorgeous, sweet little thing, and the person that we thought might be able to take her wasn't really keen. So it was a no-brainer at that point. We both absolutely loved her, and she's totally gorgeous, and so is Roo, and we didn't want them going anywhere else and being split up. So we decided to keep them both. So we've now got 4 cats, two of which are kittens, that are full of beans and absolutely gorgeous and so affectionate. They are just, I think because they've been raised by people from such a young age, we were their mum and dad, they've just bonded really strongly with us. They're so affectionate. They're eating us out of house and home, and they're growing, and yeah, they're just beautiful. So it's been really lovely to have 2 baby kittens. And if you ever consider it, we've never had 2 kittens together at the same time, but 2 kittens at the same time is so much easier. They play with each other, they entertain each other, they sleep together. If we're not around for some reason and we're at work, if we have to go, when I was working, if we had to go to the city, they would look after each other. If they need any company and we're not around, they look after each other. They don't get lonely. They are so tightly bonded. It's crazy. So I think pretty much from now on, if I ever get another kitten, we will be getting 2 at the same time, because it's just so much better if you can do it. So yeah, so they're our new additions to our family, and they are gorgeous, and everyone loves them. The dog loves them, the other cats love them, and it's really cool. So if I can, I'll insert some photos of them when they were babies, and of them all snuggling and stuff like that. Anyway, this is the world's longest video. I've had a lot to share with you. Thank you for dropping in and watching it. Thank you for watching it to the end if you have. and hopefully I will see you again very soon. Bye.